Hello and welcome to the Marine Channel. My name's Jason and I've got a very interesting boat to show you today, and it is called the Northmaster 685 Cruiser. Now we're going to hop on board in a moment, but let me tell you a little bit about this boat. First of all, the boat's actually built in Gdansk in Poland, but it's actually a Scandinavian design, and we're looking at the boat here in the Southampton Boat Show. And it's only been in the UK for sort of a handful of years, but it's doing very, very well indeed. And one of the reasons is the price point. Have a little look at this. So, 63,575. That includes the engine, that includes the VAT, and it also includes a whole bunch of stuff here that a lot of other people would charge for. So it's a very, very competitive price point. There's also a good range of options, 140 up to 200 horsepower. And you can go for Mercury or you can go for Suzuki power. Now this particular boat has got the, if you like, the baby Suzuki, the 140. But actually performance on this boat, because of the light weight, is still pretty sparkling. You can get about 37 knots top speed on it, and it will cruise mid-20s comfortably. If you go for the bigger engine options up to 200 horsepower, then you'll be pushing 50 knots. Okay, so let's start at the back and see what we've got. So access obviously both sides. Very, very easy to step on board, and you can see over here we've got our swim ladder that just drops down, and then stepping on here we've got two self-draining lockers, just in there, one either side. They're very useful for fenders and life jackets, wetsuits, all that kind of good stuff. Now what's clever about this boat is that there's effectively no big platform at the back that soaks up wasted space. So when you step on board, you're pretty much straight into the cockpit. And what it does do is it blesses this boat with an enormous space for a boat of this size. Now just looking up here, we can see that this has got a bimini on it. That's standard. Okay, now this is very, very clever, the system. So I'm going to pan across the left-hand side here to its identical neighbour, and that one's got the bimini stowed down. Because actually what it does is it folds back and it stores in underneath the seats. So this part here hinges, drops down here, goes down behind these seats. Same thing on the other side. Stows down, folds down here, goes down, and completely disappears. But I think it's a nice touch that that is all standard on this boat. Ooh. There we are. And that's the slot that it actually stows in, that goes back in underneath there. So very, very clever packaging indeed. Okay, so I've talked a little bit about the seating. The seating in here is quite incredible. You could probably sit 6 people there with no problem at all. Then you've got another seat over here, and then you've got the helm. So this is probably an 8-seater boat, I would think. This cushion is hinged, so you can pull that forward. And what a lovely place to sit and look back at the view with a sundowner. Pop them back up, nice and easy. I also quite like this stitching detail on it. So although this boat's good value, it doesn't look like they've sort of scrimped, if you like, on the fit and finish. Now if you're thinking, where's the table? Well, there is a table. That's the leg for the table. When it's not in use, it's actually stowed in underneath there, because this is a big space. There you can see that with the leg. And what you can do is you can actually fit it in this sort of groove here, and then that makes it into a big sun pad sort of area, or chaise lounge as it were. Up ahead here, again this cushion here flops back, so you've got a nice generous second helm navigator seat, and then looking out over the bow. Okay, so what we've got here at the helm, now this is particularly clever. So single screen. Now it's not powered at the moment, the boat's just arrived and they've just finished setting it up, so I can't activate that for you, but basically that screen is a combined screen. There's a whole load of stuff. So that's your navigation. It also is all your systems for the boat, so you can control the lights, you can control the fridge, you can control all those bits and pieces all through that single point there. But you can also control it via an app, so you can be back at home with your phone and you can turn the fridge on through this system remotely in preparation for you arriving. So this really is a proper multi-function display with loads and loads of features. I think it's absolutely brilliant, fits in there nice and compact. It means you don't have to have any other screens, and it really does make maximum use of the space. A couple of steps up here, so you can make your way out onto the foredeck. This one's got the optional sort of front cushion padded sort of area there, and this one's also got an electric windlass in place. On a boat this size, you may or may not want that. It is an option, it's one of the few options, but it's not an expensive option, to be honest, when you look down through the list. What else can we tell you about this? Nice helm seat, obviously lifting bolster there. We've got the VHF here. Oh, by the way, just talking about that, this is your stereo as well. So many times you'll see a separate stereo control, which again takes up space. Don't need that on this particular boat. Okay, back here, behind, we've got a seat at the moment, but there is the option to have that as kind of like an outdoor kitchen. So you have a little sink there, you have storage underneath. You could, some owners have had stoves put on the top of that as well. You can basically sort of play around with the configuration there. Your fridge, which again is standard, is already on board underneath here. Okay, so you don't need to worry about that. So there is some element of personalisation should you want it, but it's all very, very straightforward. And what the guys have said, and I've had a look already, is go and have a look at the configurator. So you can go online, you can configure your boat, and well, if you're familiar with configuring cars online, you'll love this because it's just as easy and simple. And the whole message with this boat is boating should be fun, it should be simple, choosing and buying your boat should be simple, and this really does sort of tick the box. Just a quick step down into the sort of front cabin area here. Again, it's a fairly simple setup because it's not a massive boat, of course, but this does become a good size double. There's a bit of natural light there because you've got the glazing on the foredeck, and then where my feet are at the moment, this area has got an infill cushion, so this whole area becomes a double bed. The reason it's not there at the moment is that you can maybe see these rails. This is where your toilet would be. So this one hasn't got it installed yet, but you'd have a chemical toilet that would slide out here. You'd use that and then it would pop back under the sole. So definitely a day boat that you can spend time on, and maybe an overnighter as well. I think it'd be quite cosy there. So what do you reckon? I'm really impressed. I can see why they're doing so well with this boat, and the plans for the brand are they're going to kind of extend the range. If you go and look on the website, you'll see at the moment I think it's 5 models that are coming into the UK, but there's plans to add to that, so probably over the next 4 or 5 years we're going to be seeing longer versions galore. But I think it's a sweet little boat. Everything in the range as well, by the way, is trailerable. Everything in the range at the moment is under 10 metres, so you can dry stack it as well. So if you're kind of new to boating, or you want a great day boat at a sensible price, it's got to be on the consideration list, doesn't it? Anyway, there you go. Thanks very much for joining us here at the Marine Channel. I hope you've enjoyed it. New experience for me, not been on board one of these before. I'm glad I did. Please like, subscribe and share, and come back and watch more videos. Thanks very much. Bye.